Hi, and welcome to our session, How to Write Effective Marketing Emails for Any Situation. In this recorded webinar, I'll provide some great content for you, and then I'll post the video on my website under events at ferreroagency.com. I'll also provide you with some information about how to get in touch with me if desired. Well, it's fair to say there's a lot of competition in the inbox. And today, 306 billion emails are sent every year. And each day, office workers are expected to receive over 120 emails. The volume is incredible, and I'm sure that you're part of that equation as well. So as we're talking about this today, what we're trying to do is ensure that your emails are going to be able to compete in this very crowded marketplace. You want to be able to write emails that provide value to your audience and that they'll actually open them and do something with your emails. But writing emails can seem intimidating. For a lot of people, writing an email can seem like a daunting task. Maybe you don't know what to send. Maybe it takes you too long to write an email. Maybe you feel like you're not a good writer, or you're having a hard time getting people to open and click your emails. You want to write your email in a way that tells a story and builds a connection with your readers. No matter what you feel when you sit down and write an email, we've got you covered. That's why we've put together this webinar to help you write great emails that help your business. And I'm a business owner too, so I get it. You want to break through the barrier in the inbox and make sure that people are seeing what you're trying to communicate with them. And I've got some great ideas to share with you today. Oh, my PowerPoint went away. There we go. So let's see specifically what we can cover in today's session. Okay, so we're going to talk about some different types of emails and what you want to think about in your email strategy. Then I'll share a simple formula to write any email. And finally, I'll share some more tips on writing successful emails. There's tons of great content here provided by Constant Contact. I'm a big fan of Constant Contact, and I hope you will be as well. Well, my name is Jennifer Ferrero, and I've been in communications, marketing, public relations, and freelance writing for over 25 years. My business is ferreroagency.com, and I'm a solution provider with Constant Contact because I believe in their product, and they are just the nicest people that you could ever talk to when you call into their customer service. So I think they've got great tools, and we're going to talk a little bit about that after we cover the email content today. So before we talk about what to put into your emails, let's talk about what types of emails you might send. Okay, so not all of your emails should be promotions to sell your products or services or to ask for donations. No one wants to be sold all the time. Fair statement? Yeah. So you're going to want a variety of email types that you're using to communicate with your contacts that you've procured probably over many years. You want to stay top of mind with those customers, clients, patients, whoever they are, whoever you're trying to communicate with, without inundating them with bad content. So with email marketing, you can build a relationship with your audience over time, and that can encourage them to continue to do business with you. So you're going to want to include a mixture of time-based emails and informational emails. Time-based emails are when you have something like a sales emails or promotions or events coming up and you need people to take action on something. An informational email is like it says, it's information that you're communicating about something that's going on. So you can see those examples here on the screen. One of the big questions that we get in the email marketing world is how often should I send my emails? Well, that really depends on what are the expectations that you've set with your customers. So if you sign up for daily email tips from a company, how often do you expect to receive an email from that company? If you sign up for twice a month emails from that company, how often do you expect to receive an email from that company? So it's, in short, it's about the expectations that you set with your customers or those that you're communicating with, and as far as how often you do send that. My rule of thumb is about once a month for my business. I like to send out something that is both informational and timely so that I can communicate to my customers. So sometimes there is a special circumstance where you need to communicate a little more often, especially if you're pushing a big event or something, and you know this is a customer base that's interested in attending that event. So you might ask them for permission to send the emails more often, or ask them if they're interested in that event. You can actually start to segment your list based on what people are interested in and if they're opening your emails as well. Okay. So we talked about a couple different types of emails there. So let's talk a little bit more about some more types here. Okay. So what are the most common types of emails that small businesses think about is offering promotions. So they're pretty straightforward. You can choose to promote whatever you need in your business. And you're really asking someone to do something that is going to affect your bottom line as a small business owner, right? So you might offer a coupon or discount or promote a product or service you offer, provide a free resource, or ask them to book a consultation with you. Now for nonprofits, think about fundraising as your promotional campaigns. And you might also be asking for volunteers. So just make sure to include any instructions to get the resource or redeem a coupon or offer, and include an end date in those promotions when you're communicating in a promotional email. Okay. Event emails. So hypothetically, how many of you are out there running events for your business or organization? I know I do them fairly often, and this is one type of event that I do, is teaching a class. So many of you are probably in the same boat as me. So no matter what type of event you have, I have some tips for you. When you are sending an event email, you can remind people to register and remind registrants of the event date and when it's coming up so that they can either save the date or register for that event. Event follow-ups are also a great option as well, and you can use them in a couple different ways. You can thank your event attendees for taking time out to attend your event and send any follow-up information. And then for those that did not attend the event, the non-attendees, you can also follow up with them. Perhaps they were interested in attending the event and they couldn't come that day for some reason. So following up with a video or other information about how they can learn more about the business is worthwhile, and you can do that in email as well. So you can change your content for different types of emails. You can also promote the biographies or credentials of speakers that you're going to have at an event rather. So these are all ways that you can continue to promote your event. Okay. You could also celebrate holidays in email marketing. Now you can do formal holidays such as Valentine's Day or Christmas or something like that. Or you could have fun with holidays such as National Donut Day, and you can talk about why this is a special holiday, especially if it does relate to your business in some way, or maybe you're offering some kind of special for National Donut Day. So that's great email content. You can write these in a funny manner or something that's clever to get people to take a look at that content as well. Constant Contact has put together a lot of templates and options in their lineup so that you can take a look at those templates and get some ideas as well, or just use the template when you're writing your email. Okay, you can also communicate how-to information in your email strategy. And this is really helpful for people, especially if they have an interest in something. For example, with the example of the yoga studio here, I'm interested in yoga, I'm interested in healthy eating and that type of thing. So I would read how-to information that comes into my email box if it's giving me something useful. So they vary, this type of content varies based on the type of business that you have, of course, but you can share step-by-step instructions via video or copy that you write in your email. And you can also include things like checklists or DIY information or how to use your products or services so that you're, again, staying top of mind with people. A restaurant can send out how-to information with recipes or how to make something. Maybe they're sending out kitchen tips or organizational tips in the kitchen. Or if you're a nonprofit helping children, you could send out some information about spending quality family time together or something along those lines. So really the sky is kind of the limit on informational and how-to information in email. And email marketing isn't just a one-way communication channel because you can use it to gain feedback and information as well. You want to understand your audience, their needs, their wants, their experiences, and you want to make sure that they are enjoying participating with your business. You want to be able to hear from them so you can provide more of what they need, right? I mean, if you're providing content or services or products that are not useful to people, you're probably not going to be in business for very long. So you do want to find out what people are interested in. So if you ask your customers, you can send them an email and ask them for a review of their experience. Of course, you can always choose to do Google reviews and that type of thing, or you can send them a survey in email, similar to what you see here on the screen. And those can be very helpful for generating information. You can ask a series of questions depending on what you're looking to accomplish, and you can ask them how you can improve your services, gain feedback on your website, or what their interests are with regard to receiving emails from you. So this type of information can help you to personalize the experience that they have with your company. So all of these things can help to improve your results. The ideas for creating dialogue with customers are endless. So use these emails in your strategy and it can help you to become more trustworthy as a business owner and show your subscribers that you really do care about them. So if you ever have any questions about how to do that, how to survey people, how to create this type of content in email, feel free to contact me. Okay. Another type of email you can send is to share some behind the scenes information. This is something that is really of interest to a lot of people. It's a great way to humanize your business or organization. Show real people working behind the scenes, making a product that's going out to customers. Or you might feature employees and their position and their mission with your company. If you're a nonprofit, you can feature volunteers or even show the day-to-day operation of your organization. You can feature behind the scenes of how you provide a service to show your credibility and how you focus on your clients, or how the product is made to ensure quality. You'll also want to include news in your email communication. You want to share updates that are happening at your company, whether that's changes in office hours, new menu items, or even changes you're working toward. Keep people in the know about what's happening at your business specifically, or even get them excited about a change that's coming, such as a new product. A lot of times we assume people know that we have something in the works because perhaps we've posted it on social media or we've been out in the community talking it up, but email marketing is another way that you can continue to promote that item. And don't forget about the industry news as well. We're all in different industries. You should be able to share outside information about the industry and how it relates to your business. And last, think about sharing local happenings. It's always nice to know that a business you support is involved in the community. So if you're doing something with the local Chamber of Commerce, for example, include that in your emails as well. Okay. Well, typically we recommend putting one topic in your emails, in your email newsletters, especially if you're trying to drive action. You don't want to overwhelm people, right? However, your organization may find it valuable to send a newsletter that includes several different topics. If you're going to go this route, we'd first suggest making sure you're segmenting your audience. For instance, you might have a group of people on your list who would prefer one email a month. And maybe they want to see multiple topics that you can send to them, or perhaps they want to see more emails per month with fewer topics. So you can start to ask people these questions and then segment them into lists so that they're receiving the right content. The thing about newsletters is once you've developed content for a newsletter, you've developed a strategy for how you're going to present information to people, you really just have to copy that content, copy that format over and over again. People like consistency, and it makes it easier for you to write the next newsletter. So another best practice with newsletters is to only include 3 topics at the most. You don't want to overwhelm them with too much information. I once saw an email that if printed, it would have been 16 pages long. Now that is a long email. The chances of people reading past those first couple lines are pretty slim. I certainly was not going to read that long of an email. So think about that and how much you are trying to communicate. You have to really think about what you want people to do when they see this email, what action you want them to take. Okay. So automated emails, that is also something for you to consider. Constant Contact has set it up so that you can deliver automated emails to people on your list, which are really fantastic. So one of them is a welcome email. So as soon as they sign up for the list, automatically a welcome email goes out to them. Now you can include something like a coupon or promotion in that automated email, but something that gets them right away and says, we're interested in communicating with you. Thank you for signing up. So that's beneficial. And then you can create other emails such as anniversary or birthday emails for your customers. This is another way to stay in touch with people that is very useful, very helpful to them when they're interested in your content. So note about the anniversary emails, that can be a work anniversary. That can be something, it could be a wedding anniversary, depending on the type of business that you operate. But it doesn't have to necessarily just be a wedding anniversary or that type of thing. And birthdays, of course, are universal for everyone. Okay. All right, so we talked about different types of emails and some formulas for emails. So let's go to the next section here. All right, how long should my email be? Okay, when it comes to writing an email, we always get questions about what's a good length for an email. I will tell you that we've found that 20 lines of text or about 200 words results in the highest click-through for an email, but there are a variety of factors for you to think about. Some emails are going to be longer than others because of the type of email and how much you have to accomplish. You can take a look at these 2 emails, for example. One's a little bit longer than the other one. The promotion on the left has less text, and the one on the right has more educational information along with a video. So you want to provide just enough information to keep people interested and get them to take action that's going to be unique to that email campaign. Another example would be if your call to action is bigger and you want to have an RSVP for your event, you want to make sure to include those call to action buttons like you see here in these sample emails. And for some events, your reader is probably going to need more information to make a decision. Another idea is that you can use the email as a teaser and send them to a web page to go look at more information, especially if there's documents to download or something like that for that particular event. So that's one way to keep your email short, is to send them to a website for more information. Okay. Once you know what you want your email content to be about, you can sit down and start to write the actual content. Just remember that all emails follow the same basic formula that includes a supporting picture, a paragraph, and a call to action. I'm going to help you break down the text to make it easier to write your email. Okay. So, of course, you'll need to figure out what to write in the body of the email. This is one of the things that seems to trip people up in my world, is knowing what to say and how to say it. So let me provide a structure that you can use that will encourage people to take action with your content. Okay, so I'm going to break it down into the questions that people usually have. They're saying, what are you offering? So you need some kind of headline to stop the reader. From a design perspective, the headline stops the reader, piques their interest, and makes them want to read more. That leads them to the next part. How will you help the reader? Or how will what you have help the reader? Okay, for this, you want to answer the question, how can I help them? This is where you provide some details and entice people to take action. Typically, you need 3 to 5 sentences, but make sure you provide enough information to give your reader what they need. And the third question is, what should they do next? So this is where your call to action comes in. Tell them specifically what it is you want them to do. And make sure the call to action is easy to find and click on it in your email. You might ask them to make a purchase, schedule a consultation, or even get more information. This simple formula will help you to write your email's text and get these questions answered for any for-profit business. Okay. So these questions might be a little bit different in the case of a nonprofit. So here are the questions. Here is the headline. What are you trying to accomplish? In the message body, you need to communicate why the reader of this email should care. Why do they want to participate in this? And last, a call to action. How can the reader get involved? So again, you've curated these contacts. If you're a nonprofit, these are people that have possibly been interested as donors in the past, or they've participated in events that you've had for fundraising. So you want to be very clear in your communication of what you're trying to accomplish, why should they care, and how can they get involved this time. Okay. So curating content, there is a lot of content on the internet. You can find a lot of things all over the place. So one way to do that would be to go to something like Feedly.com. I personally haven't really used Feedly because I do a lot of original research and interviews for the type of content that I write. But if you're not a writer and you're not really interested in curating content yourself, you can get content from other sources, okay? You can find articles in your industry, and as long as you cite the author and or the publication of that article, you can share that information out. A lot of people like that because their content then is being pushed out into the world in a broader manner when it's shared out. So again, as long as you're giving information, that's great. But you don't want to just share information that other people have written. You want to offer a perspective on that. So let's say that I write a lot for the aerospace industry, which I do. And let's say that I'm going to share some content from another author regarding something in the aerospace industry. Well, perhaps I've interviewed that company in the past and written about them, so I can offer my perspective and add to that in a newsletter. And I would expect that if anyone was sharing my content from a feature story that I've written, that they would also share my name and the publication that the information was published in, so that it's credited. So, but offer perspective, offer an opinion, share something in addition to what you're posting there, okay? And then, as I said, give credit to the original author who wrote the content, okay? Subject lines, okay, subject lines are really important because you have just, well, it says here 100 milliseconds. It's very brief. I don't know how fast a millisecond is, but it's very brief to form that first impression. You want your subject line to be 4 to 7 words. So the subject line is what's going to get people interested in opening your email. So as much as I would love to be able to give you all the possible winning subject lines, it's depends on your audience. It depends on what you're trying to communicate, what you need to say, and what you're trying to accomplish with that. So I can provide some tips and suggestions for you. So first of all, you want to, let's go to the next slide here. You want to consider the content and what you're trying to communicate. So you look at the content and what it's about. Can you boil it down to 4 to 7 words? That's the first thing that you want to think about. You also want to think about using keywords or phrases in that subject line that you're, again, trying to grab attention with people based on the content. So if you know you're sending out an email to certain people in an industry, so for example, again, I write a lot for the aerospace manufacturing industry. I'm probably going to want to use aerospace in manufacturing somewhere in my subject line. Now, if I'm running an event for the aerospace manufacturing industry, then I may want to use the term event or coming up or something to denote that there's something for that industry happening that's an event, okay? Your email should focus on the benefit of why the reader should care and how your email can help the reader. So make sure that in the subject line, you're thinking about, how can you solve a problem for them? How can you ask a question that would pique their interest? And how can you help them ultimately? Okay, so let's take a look at some other ideas for subject lines. One is you can make people laugh. So let's say that you have a landscaping company and use something like "calm down, Mother Nature," when you see something happening. That one can grab people's attention. People love humor overall. If you can get a laugh out of them, they're probably going to read further. Okay. Another thing is to try to incorporate numbers in your subject line. So like 5 tips for making the best grilled ribs, something like that. Or you can ask the questions such as, are your investments working for your business? Now, a lot of people ask questions in their email marketing and in their subject lines, I find. So you almost have to get specific based on what you know about your audience when you're writing those questions. So the other thing is pre-header text. So a lot of you may or may not know what pre-header text is, but it's the little text that you're seeing on the screen here. That says the snow isn't going to slow us down, and that can help you as well. That pre-header text is something that in Constant Contact, you have a chance just to click right on your subject line, write out what you're going to say, and then put in your pre-header text right there. That shows up in the inbox in most cases. So that can be essentially like a lead-in for what you're going to communicate there. Also, you could try to pull at someone's heartstrings, like take 5 minutes for animals that you care about or animals in need, something like that for nonprofits, and also create a sense of urgency, like we're down to the last 20 tickets or almost sold out, we'll sell out by this date, something like that. So give people a fear of missing out, FOMO, by creating that sense of urgency for them. So last chance, register by Friday, classes are almost full. These are all good ways to communicate this information. Okay, so here's Jack's Backyard Barbecue, 5 tips for perfectly grilled ribs. Ribs that will knock your socks off is the pre-header in this case. ABC Financial, are your investments working for you? 3 questions to ask to maximize your retirement. Here's another one, Hearts and Tails Animal Rescue. Take 5 minutes to help animals in need. $10 can help us save more animals. French Consulting, last chance, register by Friday. Reserve your spot today. Our classes are filling up fast. So lots of things that you can write in your subject lines to help guide readership of your email. Okay. Well, the inbox is a busy place and many people are reading their emails on their phone. I know I do it all the time. That means your subject line and pre-header text needs to be short and sweet. People are scanning their inbox and making quick decisions, so you may need to get that point across and catch their attention right away. So again, we kind of talked a little bit about pre-header text, and again, that shows up directly underneath the subject line, which helps tell your story a little bit before they open the email. And so I always recommend using that pre-header text. Okay. So make sure that you are, again, honing in some content that is short and sweet, but also specific to what you're trying to communicate. Okay, going through our agenda here. So more tips for writing successful emails. So the first tip is to get personal, and there are several things that are going to come into play with this. Probably one of the most common questions or comments I see is how to increase your opens and clicks. So first and foremost, you want to send targeted, relevant information to your audience. You don't want people to tune you out. If it's not relevant to them, then they're probably not going to open your email, right? They're going to unsubscribe. You will get some unsubscribes, and that's okay, because your emails are probably not for everyone. But you would really want to try to minimize that by having people that are interested in receiving your content. Okay. And then you want to generally try to personalize, get out of that e-blast mentality. I've had clients in the past who say to me, we need to send out some e-blasts. And I say, we don't want to e-blast anyone. That is not good. That's not positive. You want to, again, send out targeted, relevant information to people and try to have a personal conversation with them. Even if you have, I don't know, 100 people on your list and you're trying to reach 10% of them, 10 people on that list, that's okay. As long as they get in touch with you and you develop a relationship with them. You always want to use words like you and yours and demonstrate that it's personal. It's about you and it's about them when you're writing your copy in your email marketing. Excuse me. And it's okay to show some of your personality. You don't want to sound like a robot in your marketing. I mean, after all, you're trying to have a relationship with these folks. Hopefully you'll be on the phone with them later or communicating in one-to-one emails with them. So let them get to know you in the way that you write your content. Okay. Anyway, in the end, you want to show that you're a real person trying to work on your business. You're trying to reach your audience on a personal level and make sure that they want to contact you. Okay. So questions can become email content. So if you have questions from customers or clients about the business, then you can start to keep track of those, and that can become part of the content, is that you're answering those common questions that they have. So that's a really great way to curate content. So if you can answer questions in the email, then they won't have to look it up, or perhaps they'll go, oh, well, they have an answer, they have a solution for me, and they'll contact you then. Let's talk a little bit about power words to trigger a response with folks. So you can trigger a psychological or emotional response in your email message. And These are some power words you can use with your audience. They're important to think about in your subject line. So try putting them at the beginning so the email will stand out even more in the inbox. Some of these types of words can keep people reading in the body of your email when you include them. So here's some categories of power words. You've got trust, encouragement, vanity, and curiosity, and some of the words that you could use based on those categories. All right, the next section, and this is one that I think is a great feature on Constant Contact, is that you can do what's called A/B testing. A/B testing is where you can test out some different subject lines. You can decide which one works best based on who opened that email. So I've done this quite a bit in aerospace marketing when I'm sending out information to the aerospace industry, and doggone it, there's always a winner that comes up as far as the subject line that you use, especially if you send out two different subject lines and you measure them 50-50 and you find out that, you had 75% of the people opened subject line A and 25% opened subject line B, that it tells you that subject line A worked a whole lot better than B. And that helps you to then craft your next email, right? So this is a feature that's built into the Email Plus package with Constant Contact. I've used it a lot of times. I would recommend it to you as well. So testing out those subject lines is a great way to improve on what's going on. Okay. So at this point, we've covered a lot of things about writing your emails, and I'm going to start to wrap up. But I want to recap a few things so that you remember some of these tips that I've communicated to you. You want to include a variety of promotional and informational types of emails with your strategy. And when you're not sure what to say, you can curate content that will provide value and encouragement to people. Also follow a formula for your type of business or organization. Answer those 3 questions in your headline, body of the email, and the call to action button based on, again, whether you're a for-profit or a nonprofit business. Try to answer those questions. It'll save you a lot of time in writing the emails going forward. And last is to remember to get personal with people. Remember to use you and yours, and send targeted, relevant information to people. And again, ask people what they want from you. Ask them how often they would like to hear from you. Let them know some of the things that you're going to communicate to them and find out what they're interested in. So for me, in my email communications, I like to send out communication tips. I send out media interviewing tips, public relations tips, how to get into the media. I send out things about how to share your content once you've been interviewed and had something published about you. So you can ask people what types of content they're interested in, depending on how far you want to go. And we'll be honest, some of this takes a little bit of time if you start getting into really getting specific with certain segmented groups in your email marketing. However, if it's working to generate more business for you, it could be worth it financially. Or from a revenue standpoint to take the time to do that. Okay. One of the things I'd like to share with you is that Constant Contact has everything that you need really in one place. I use Constant Contact for my website. I've created a logo for my aerospace writing side of my business. I use it for email marketing. I've got e-commerce on there so I can sell services through Constant Contact. And with many clients, I do social posting and ads management as well. So what I might do for a customer is I might create their monthly newsletter, for example, and then we will set up a social media campaign that's going out to, say, Facebook and LinkedIn over the course of a month. And we've got all of those social posts pre-scheduled. There's no need to use another tool like a Hootsuite or something like that, because Constant Contact has it all built in. The benefit of that is that all of your images are uploaded, all of your content is already there, and your lists of people are in that system already. So I think their social posting is great, and I highly recommend doing it. You can also set up your ads for Google and Facebook and Instagram through their tools as well. On the e-commerce side of things, you can set up stores. You can tie to credit card processing so that when people want to buy a product or service from you, they can do that as well. So gosh, I don't know why you'd even use another tool. The cost of Constant Contact is very reasonable, and you can basically use it to run your business. All right, well, we're going to skip over the Q&A for today, but what I'd like to encourage you to do is to contact me directly with any questions that you might have. Here's my phone number, 509-294-0437. My email, jennifer@ferreroagency.com. You can look at ferreroagency.com to see my body of work as well as some of the services I have. And if you're interested in signing up for a trial account, I'd encourage you to use the URL here, the constantcontact.com/signup. It's kind of a messy URL, but it does allow you to sign up underneath me so that I know to contact you and provide you with a free 30-minute marketing discussion about your business. So I would love to do that. I've worked with lots of businesses over the years. And again, I'm here to help. I'm here to help a lot of companies with their marketing. I am affiliated with Constant Contact. I do think what they offer is really great. And I'd love for you to participate in that. I'd like to help you. So with that, I'll thank you for coming on to this session today. And please look for this recorded session on my website, ferreroagency.com, and take care.